Welcome to Baka Recap, where we recap all your favorite anime. Sit back and enjoy. Denji and Makima ride together in a car. His stomach growls and he apologizes as he had nothing to eat. She forgives him and tells him that now he's her pet and will do whatever she says. As they arrive at a check stop, Makima says they will stop for some food. Denji tells her he has no money, but she tells him she will pay for it, which excites Denji. She offers him her raincoat so he doesn't stand out. Denji is surprised at her generosity since no one has ever treated him that nice. He begins to fall in love with Makima. Later, at the restaurant. While the two wait for their food, Denji starts to feel a little woozy because of the blood he lost in his previous fight. He goes into greater detail with Makima about his situation. She says there aren't many cases of his condition, and there isn't a term for it, but she believes him. Makima tells Denji that thanks to her incredible sense of smell, she can tell that Pochita is still alive inside of him. Feeling relieved, Denji faints again. He wakes up and lets her feed him despite being able to eat himself. She then introduces herself as Makima. Denji then asks her what type of guys she likes. After thinking for a moment, she responds with the Denji type. Denji feels flattered. Then the two decide to head out to the Tokyo Devil Hunters headquarters. On the way there, all Denji can think about is what Makima said to him earlier. We then see them arrive at HQ. She says that public safety offers the best perks and a generous amount of paid time off. Makima tells Denji that Tokyo has more than 1,000 devil hunters and residents. Up in her office, Makima gives Denji his new uniform. After he puts it on, he meets Aki Hayakawa and learns they will be teaming up. Denji gets upset to learn he isn't working with Makima. Hayakawa drags Denji as he begins kicking and screaming. Makima reassures Denji that if he performs admirably, one day they'll partner together. This helps to calm him down. Later, in the city, Hayakawa and Denji walk down a busy street. Denji asks if Makima is single. Hayakawa tells Denji to follow him. He leads him to an alley and punches him in the face. He continues to beat him up, then kicks him into a pile of trash. Hayakawa tells Denji to give up. Due to his lack of genuine desire for the job, he believes Denji will die like his other coworkers. He tells him if he sees him tomorrow, he'll beat him up again. Then he throws his cigarette at Denji and spits on it. Hayakawa then turns and walks away. With his back faced to Denji, he lights a cigarette and continues walking. In retaliation, Denji overwhelms Hayakawa by kicking him in the groin. Hayakawa's cigarette falls out of his mouth from the pain. After he hits the ground, Denji repeatedly kicks him in the groin. He tells him someone paid for his delicious meal and treated him like a human being for the first time in his life. He doesn't care if the job is dangerous, he would die to keep this life. Hayakawa gets up and tackles Denji. Then he punches him in the face and tells him that a woman like Makima is too good for a thug like him. Denji gets upset and kicks Hayakawa in the groin again. Hayakawa is surprised he went for the groin again, then falls to the ground. Sometime later, Denji returns to the Devil Hunter headquarters while carrying Hayakawa. He tells Makima a devil kicked Hayakawa in the groin. Hayakawa calls Denji a liar and blames him for the assault. Makima sarcastically tells them that they seem close and asked if they could work together. Denji pushes Hayakawa and they both disagree. In spite of their dysfunctional relationship, Makima officially inducts Denji into Hayakawa's squad. Hayakawa rejects the idea, but Makima argues that his team is an experimental one that employs a different strategy than usual. Hayakawa is given an explanation of Denji's hybrid human-devil traits by Makima. She advises Denji and Hayakawa that Denji will be slaughtered like any other devil if he attempts to resign or act insubordinately. Later that evening, in the city, Denji follows Hayakawa back home. He reminds Denji he has the right to kill him if he tries to flee. Later, at Hayakawa's residence, Denji takes a bite of toast while Hayakawa is mortified by the mess. We also see Denji taking a bath and banging the tub, making lots of noise. While Hayakawa is doing laundry, he tells Denji not to sleep on the toilet. He becomes irritated when he sees all the toilet paper is gone. The next morning, the two go to a crime scene involving a fiend at a house. The cops tell Denji and Hayakawa where the fiend is hiding and tell them they are on their own to deal with it. As they enter the house, Hayakawa explains what fiends are to Denji. He says that they inhabit a human corpse, but they are still devils. Denji asks as to whether he is a fiend, and Hayakawa replies that fiends have distinctive heads. They make their way to the bedroom and find a fiend eating a pet bird. He tells Denji that devils control the fiend's personality, then tells Denji to use his devil powers to kill the fiend. Instead, Denji kills the fiend with his axe, puzzling Hayakawa. Denji explains that his goal was to ease the agony of the fiend's death. Fed up with Denji's insubordination, Hayakawa pushes Denji's head up against the window. When hunting fiends, Hayakawa tells Denji to let go of his sympathies. He tells him that a devil killed his entire family in front of him and tells Denji about the hopeless condition the cops are in. Denji admits to Hayakawa that he has spent his entire life alone and would make friends with a devil if he could. After Hayakawa leaves, we find that Denji killed the fiend with an axe in order to keep blood off some dirty magazines. Since the fiend no longer needs them, Denji takes a quick peek. While gazing out the window, Denji expresses how good his life has become since joining public safety. He thinks more about Makima and imagines wanting to touch a woman's chest. The two report to Makima. Denji is paired with a teammate because public safety requires devil hunters to work in pairs. We now meet Power, who walks into Makima's office. Makima informs Denji that Power is a fiend and has long been a member of Hayakawa's team. Denji says a fiend devil hunter is against the rules. Then he sees Power's chest and says it's not a big deal. She emphasizes how crucial it is for these two to avoid making a mistake, then dismisses them. Since Power's fiend traits sometimes cause issues with local pedestrians, Denji and Power patrol the area from the rooftops. As they continue to walk along the rooftop, Power runs around the roof searching for devils. She then smacks Denji on his head and demands he provide her with devils to kill. Denji is willing to put up with Power's crazy antics as long as he can accomplish his naughty objective. When Denji and Power come across two police officers, they show them their public safety IDs. Then the two officers walk away. A short time later, the two are taking a rest on a rooftop and Denji asks where all the devils are. Power grins and takes the blame. She says that before she became a fiend, she was a fearsome devil who no one wanted to be around. She says the devils must be afraid of her scent. He remembers Makima telling him it was Hayakawa's idea for the two of them to work together. Denji gets mad and curses Hayakawa under his breath. Power smells blood coming from the sea cucumber devil. Then she starts running. Denji yells at Power telling her to come back but ends up running after her. He chases Power as she jumps from building to building. We see the sea cucumber devil down below. Power leaps off a tall building, and we see the blood she releases turn into a big hammer. She smashes the devil and obliterates it in one shot. The sea cucumbers remain splatter in every direction as Power cheers in celebration. Denji watches Power laugh maniacally as they defeat their first devil. This is where the episode ends. If you enjoyed our Baka recap, please like and subscribe and tell us your favorite moment and what you'd like us to recap next. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
ふざけんなよ、バカ